Okay, we're going to install front headlights to this car. So here's get one last look at what stocks look like. That one's a little hazy. That one's nice and clear. But we're going to change this out. Okay, here's the after. Looking good. Only took an hour to do the swap. Here's the comparison. Stock, definitely much nicer custom. If you want to know how to do this job in an hour, stick around for the rest of the video. So the first step to do the headlights will be to remove the plastic caps here, and there's a couple Luke's working on there, and one over on the other side. Get the top caps out. So to get one of these fasteners out, I use a trim tool. You could use a regular screwdriver with a small tip, but I prefer to use a trim tool. There's a slot in there that you'll see, and you can kind of put your end in there, give it a little wiggle like that, then get up alongside of it and pull those guys right out without damaging them. Okay, you get the trim cover piece off. Like you say, there was here, these two guys that hold your air intake, and that one. They have plastic clips, look like these things, and they need to come out. Okay. Next step will be to pull the bolts, 10mm bolts that are up underneath, up under there. We'll get those, and then we'll pull the side clips off of the wheel wells, which are two here, 1, 2, and there's a 10mm bolt up here. We'll get that off. Alright, so now we're taking out these fasteners that are here all around this perimeter, and they're a number 10 just bolt like that. They all need to come out. Okay, we pulled the cover off. Front cover. Show you that on this front lip right here, it's pushed in to this side here, so you'll gotta carefully pull it off from these clips right there and there and there. So you pop that out over here. So the fog lights have these connectors. I'm not exactly sure why they said to pull them off down here. That makes no sense to me, because really the connector is right here in the center of the front. That had to come off, and that disconnected the harness for the fog lights. So yeah, pulling them off in the light itself makes no sense. It's just the one in the center that you need to remove. But otherwise, it just popped right out once we had all the fasteners that I showed you off of there. There was a fastener down here in the center that needed to be gotten. The other ones were up top. Alright, so you just need to get the two fasteners off the top of the headlights, which are obvious. There's one here, and then there's one over there. But there is a side one, which is right here. You get those three off. And is there one in the front as well? Okay, yep, there's one right there. Okay, pulling the other side off. We got this fastener. It's a 10mm fastener. And then there'll be one here and one here. Notice this one is different than the others. It actually has a Phillips head on top of it. It's a screw rather than a bolt, machine bolt. So keep that one separate. Also, we'll want to notice that this tab right here needs to lift up. The others, once you take the bolt out, just slide out. But this one actually has a tab that needs to come up off. You lift it up in order to get it to release after the bolt is off, of course. And then, and of course, there's a side one down here that we've got out already. So once you got the fasteners out, then there's a tab on the back of this connector for the headlight. All right, so once you push on the tab and pull that connector apart, then you lift up on that tab. Yep. And it'll just slide out. It should come fully out now. Just. No, there's another connector on this side. There is? Yeah. Another connector on that side? So this is passenger side. Same big connector, press on the back of that. And then there's this connector, which you need to press on the back of that. Alright, so I just want to catch this to be sure. So this is the main big connector on your headlight assembly. This is the stock headlight assembly that we've removed. And this is just kind of like a a termination plug. It actually has no wires on it on this side, and it does absolutely nothing electrically that I can see. But it's just kind of a place to hold the connector that... Alright, so another little note on this. This termination kind of dead-ended connector that's on the brackets of your back of your light assembly, you do want to take those off so you can plug them into your harness on the car, because this isn't going to be used in the new light either. But it'd be better to not have that connector just hanging open. So this is the connector. Just connect that dead-ended part that you take off of the bracket, hook it back on the harness, and just let it dangle there, and then you'll be okay. But here's what the new light goes in, so it obviously just reinstalls in the same kind of way, and the connector gets installed. And then redo the fasteners in reverse order, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so we got the lights installed. Doing a electrical check before we get everything buttoned back together, just in case. Looking cool. Yep. Let's put the front grill back on the same way it came off. Okay, here's the after. Looking good. Only took an hour to do the swap.